Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers. This channel is growing amazingly well within the last 10 days or so. I've even surpassed 10k subscribers, so thank you to all of you. There are a lot of people who are terrified of approaching me in a certain manner, but then there's some amazing, incredible people out there who are investigative and they try to understand the mindset of a perpetrator, and they're involved in like organizations and communities that really get involved and, you know, try to really seek to bring evolution and shift arrogance and ignorance within communities in our culture. Okay? Okay, so since you all like to ask certain questions, this is me raw, the real deal, okay? This is what I look like with no ounce of makeup. Not 1 ounce of makeup, no app. This is me, this is Talar Lori, okay? So just to clarify that, you can say you know what I look like without makeup, okay? It's the same girl. I don't care about beauty in the way society cares about beauty. The only thing I truly care about is living my authentic self, being the best that I can be, to be a voice for people who are silenced, and to really help people evolve by me being me. Okay? 2 weeks ago, I went to go get my blood checked at a walk-in clinic. So I went to a walk-in clinic, just wanted to get my blood checked. And the receptionist, she goes by the name as Digin Svetlana, and a great woman. As you're aware of the Armenian, what's acceptable and not acceptable within Armenians, there's always she's a single girl, she's the sage, let's get her married. So she was making remarks, full out remarks. We're going to get you engaged, Talat. We're going to get you married, Talat. I'm like, no. I'm 36 years old. My time is over. No, chigareli. It's like unacceptable. This is your time. Okay, this is definitely not my time. My time is every time. Like everyone has their own time, in a sense that time is illusionary. Especially I don't want to have kids, so it should. The way I look at things is I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking for companionship. I'm always looking for myself. You know how there's like the quest of knowledge or the quest of adventure for people? It's always been the quest to find myself. The quest to reinvent myself through myself, to be independent of my own being, in a sense that not conditioned by peer pressure and what's considered right or wrong in a certain society. Okay? So with that being said, the topic is going to be in regards to people that... There are a few YouTube channels. There's some Russians, there's some non-Armenians, as well as Armenians who are getting their YouTube channel across Yerevan, interviewing... Okay, Uraman. Yeah, so there's these girls that are being interviewed, or they're asking questions to girls on the streets of Yerevan, or even some of the villages of Armenia, asking why these girls are single, if they are single, why. And not even just like these interviews, but a lot of like non-Armenians that come here, and a lot of diasporan Armenians and regular people of this country, they talk amongst each other, or they come to me and they say, why are the women 40 years old and they're still single and they claim to be virgins? I'd like to clarify a few things. I don't want to speak on behalf of every single person, because that would make me very ignorant, because I cannot. Just like somebody else cannot speak on behalf of me. They don't know me. They don't know how I've lived. But give me a second. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they are literal virgins or that they've never had intimacy before, okay? It's very possible that they have, and because they'd be considered, less than suitable as a marriage material, by the families or a society. They left, they went to Yerevan, or they just don't want to. There's girls in villages that, 16 years old, that they give up their virginity amongst each other. Some are even younger. Obviously, they're not going to tell you. It's very hidden. So they'll be considered that, and a lot of these girls, they just get turned off because their only options is being a prostitute, being a wife to a man who has 2 or 3 other women on his side while she works and has to deal with his in-laws, or it's being a lesbian or just being single. And it doesn't mean that so it doesn't necessarily mean that she's never slept with anyone before. It just means she chooses to be the way she is, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, if men of this country, or men in general that are coming from another country, and they're saying that they are a man and they want to be able to have relations with an Armenian woman or a woman in general, and they're tired of going to like a massage parlor or like a prostitute, and they just want to have like intimate moments with a female, how about you just try really developing your own character, understanding how the women here are raised to value and devalue themselves and their options, and really try to understand where they are coming from, so that they start to kind of, you can't change anyone, right? So also there's the concept that Armenians are very proud people, so even if they are slutty, they're not gonna. What I want to say is, there's a lot of open Armenians, okay? There's a lot of youth, especially youth now. I remember 4 years ago, I was at a grocery store. I knew the owner there, and his friend came. His son was one of my students, okay? His son was my student when I was working at the center of Gyumri at the time, when I was doing some psychology tests on the locals and like community stuff and whatever, and bringing people here and what they wanted, if they wanted more English speaking people and so on and so forth. And I remember his father was telling the grocery store owner, and I'm there and I'm listening, I'm hearing everything he's saying, there are no more virgins left. Especially, so he just kept saying, like, in a state of shock, like, he's like, I've been searching years for a bride for my son. He's telling the owner, and they knew what I was doing at the time, in Gyumri and everything, and then he turned around and looked at me, his friend, because his friend knew me. I mean, they hang out there, right? And you know me, the people that know me here, I'm very respectful. And he's like, tell her, like, you're always welcome here, and he's like, you can hear what we're saying, like, there's nothing to hide, By the way, if you notice my eyes change color, it's not contact lens, it's because my eyes are literally gray. So depending on the lighting, my pupils shoot in and out. So this is what my real eye color is. But if the light, for example, hold on, my so I gotta put my phone to charge. Guys, I know the volume is horrible on this freaking camera, and I need to figure out a way where I can get either a microphone that's like on me, hooked to this camera, so you could hear me on both sides or something. Anyways, so basically I was saying that, right? So he just kept saying, like, he's like, there are no virginal girls. He goes, from the ages to 11 to 16, they're not virgins. He goes, the girls of today are not virgins. And he's not the only person that said that. He goes, I'm trying to find a virgin for my son. He goes, I don't know what to do. They're nowhere. I can't marry him off if the girl's not a virgin. So even before that, like maybe a year before that, which is probably almost about 5 years ago, one of the first people I met, outside of part of the organizations that I was in, but somewhat outside of it, because he would go kind of in and out, a younger guy who was actually a Kurd, with probably Armenian ancestry, but he's Kurd, born and raised in Turkey. Him and his family, they moved to Armenia. They got literally baptized here. They changed their name to an Armenian name. He started getting crosses on his arm tattooed. So nobody knows he's a Kurd. I figured it out. He admitted to it. Nothing wrong with that, you know, but so I remember like he said it one day, you know, too, like we were all kind of like part of a group and there was like these things being talked about and he's like, Talar, don't be fooled. The girls here are not virgin. And I just remember recalling going, don't talk like that about the girls here. Like, don't forget. He's like, no, honestly, he's like, Talar, the girls, they're not virgins. Another local Gyumri girl. Now, this is all discussed about just Gyumri girls in general, okay? Another female, she's from Gyumri. She had lots of friends in a European organization. She even said, like, she's like, the Achchiknera is still pug chen. Like a lot of people pug, meaning they're not closed. They're pretty open, but they appear to be closed because it's an embarrassment. It's shameful within the Armenian culture to be talking about these things freely like North Americans or Europeans do. Okay. So if you're not an Armenian or you are an Armenian and you're open to open conversation, it's going to be difficult to get these girls to admit certain things they'll take to the grave. Okay. So again, I speak on behalf of people that are silenced. Peace.